Hello, welcome back to Talk About Strange. I got a really good story for you here today, just in time for the holiday season. A couple of days, was it a couple of days ago? Yesterday, actually, I did my first little holiday kind of special thank you shout out to all you guys. Please stick around. I want to, I'll get to that great story, but I want to give you a couple of updates. So, as the channel is growing, and thank you very much, I keep on telling you, I couldn't have done it without you. I want you to know that to help support the channel and keep going, I started working on starting a online store that I'm going to be attaching to the channel so that we can do some swag, some membership stuff, and maybe just have some fun. So if you have any suggestions for products and stuff like that, right now we're working on shirts, hats, tumblers, and we'll just see where it goes from there. But I think that'd be really cool. We can come up with some cool stuff. I actually was suggested or asked to bring some stuff on, so I thought, what the heck, why not? That's one thing. The other thing is I'm working on some membership stuff. So we're going to do some loyalty badges. So level 1, level 2, level 3. Bear with me. I'm learning how to do all this stuff. I mean, this computer stuff is all new to me, but I'm kind of dragging my feet and coming along and trying to learn to walk upright. So anyway, stick with me. Let's get to the story. But that's just the updates I have for now. I had to set up, but then it turned off on me. Well, normally it does face it. There we go. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Where are we? What's this? This is interesting. I got an anonymous. You know, I would read this through, but let's see what this is while we're here. See if it's something I can that I can share. Well, it ain't that long. Well, let's read this one first. See what it is. Anonymous. Okay, anonymous. Another anonymous. This is cool, right? What a treat. Okay, he gave me his real name, but he says, you can call me John. My mother was Irish, my father was Cherokee. I am very old now. I am writing to you because 20 years ago, Saul Kalu, what you might call Bigfoot people, told me that someday I would have to pass my truth on to someone, and that I would know who when that time came. I ran across one of your videos while I was watching a cooking channel. While I was watching cooking videos. I was bored. I watch them when I'm hungry. If not, I get hungry. It was the video with the dancing flames. I liked it. So I watched the rest of your videos and looked through a lot of the comments. I thought you should know that there is a reason that all these people are sending you their stories and comments. You will understand by the end of this message, my truth will become your truth. Okay, interesting. In 1983, I owned a little leather shop that I ran out of my garage. One day, a very old man entered my garage. I was sitting at my table just inside the garage door. I always left it open on hot days. I live in South Carolina, bordering Tennessee. It gets very hot some days. The old man stood by my table and set a really old wadded up burlap rag on my table and demanded, make me a parfleche to keep this in. A parfleche is a medicine bag. Okay. I said okay and asked, how big do you want it? He slid the rag to me. I started opening it to look inside, and he said, stop. This is very old and very powerful. I moved back and asked him if it would hurt me. He said no. So I carefully looked inside, and there was a rolled up wad of green leaves. He had just said that it was very old, but these leaves looked green as spring leaves. I thought he might be crazy. So I asked him when he wanted this bag. He said, I will wait and talk with you a while. Then he just stood there waiting. So I got out a piece of very soft leather and started cutting and making holes to thread his bag together. Cool. I was working on it. While I was working on it, the old man pointed at the wadded leaves and said to me, "This is life." I asked him, "What do you mean?" He looked at me for a moment and said, "I will tell you. Then my truth will become your truth." I played along and said, "Okay, what is your truth?" He said, "This is Saul Kalu." Now I was certain he was senile. I continued working on the parfleche bag for him while he talked and smoked. He went on to tell me that when Saul Kalu are ready to cross over, they ascend home. But if they die here, they have to wait for the fullest moon, what we call a harvest moon. First, their family has to prepare them by removing the flesh and returning it to the forest. Then they dry the bones using ceremonial fire, like your dancing flame video. After the bones are dried, they use sacred stones to crush and grind the bones into fine powder. On the night of the fullest moon, they lay the powder throughout the forest, releasing the spirit of the Saul Kalu so he can return home. I still thought he was crazy, but it was a very good story, so I continued listening. He told me that his great-great-grandfather was out on a hunt when he ran across the Saul Kalu moon ceremony. He knew he wasn't supposed to be there because his people had a treaty with the Saul Kalu. But he was a young, curious boy. While hiding, he witnessed them spreading the white powder all over the forest floor. When he thought they had left, he snuck out and gathered some in a handful of leaves. But he was not alone. The Saul Kalu was not gone, and he was caught with the remains in his hand. The Saul Kalu grabbed him tightly and carried the boy back to his village and demanded to see the chief. The people had no choice but to oblige the very large, powerful people. The boy's mother led them to the chief. The one holding the boy carried him into the teepee of the sick old chief. The Saul Kalu looked at the chief and set the boy down. He was not aware of the chief's condition. He told the chief that the boy had broken the treaty and there must be justice. The chief explained that he was just a boy, but even a boy must obey the rules, so he made them an offer. Take the boy for one one year to serve you and learn, but send him home in good health. The Saul Kalu agreed and took the wadded leaves from the boy and gave them to the chief and told him to hold them for the boy until he returns. The chief replied that he would not be there when the boy returned. But the Saul Kalu looked at him and said, "I will see you in 1 year," then left the boy. Exactly 1 year later, they returned with the boy. The chief met them in front of his teepee to welcome them. The boy walked over to the chief. He looked well. He asked the boy, "Did you learn?" The boy replied, "Yes, many things." So the chief handed the wadded up leaves back to the Saul Kalu and asked, "What is this that made me better?" He replied, "It is life." Then handed it to the boy and said, "This is my truth, and now this is your truth. Protect the truth, and it will protect you." Then they returned to the forest. The old man told me that the boy was his great-great-grandfather. He passed his truth down to his grandfather, then to his father to him, and now he was bringing it to his son. But first, the Saul Kalu asked him to share his truth with me. I asked him why, and he said, "Because I have been looking for them since I was a boy, and they have been there. I asked him, if they have been there, why haven't I seen them? He said, because you are searching for them, when you should be looking to them. Stop searching, start looking. I thought it was strange that he knew I had been searching for them for a very long time. What he didn't know was that I had stopped searching because my knees were getting very bad and it was hard to hike the hills anymore. I still wasn't convinced that the old man wasn't just a very good storyteller. So I asked him, is this really true? He looked around and seen my little dead cactus plant in a pot on my floor. He picked up the wadded rag and opened it, then put his finger in and seemed to scratch at it lightly. Then he carefully shook it out onto his cactus plant. He came back and set it down and stopped talking. I was almost done. We sat quiet for a few minutes. I asked him what he was going to do with the bag. He said, gift for my son. When I finished the bag, I put it on the table and asked if it was what he wanted. He nodded and said, yes, this is good. Then pointed to the wadded burlap rolled up leaves and said, put them in the parfleche. As I did what he asked me how much he owed me for the bag. I thought for a moment and was about to say $3 when I looked over at the cactus plant. I wasn't sure if it was just my eyes, but it looked like it had a small bud growing on top and was turning from brown to green just a little. So I thought maybe he is not crazy. So I said, this is a gift to you for telling me your story. He said, okay, and picked up the bag, then looked in my eyes and repeated, look to them and you will find them, and walked away. The next morning, when I got out of bed, I noticed that my knees no longer hurt. In fact, nothing hurt at all. I felt like a new man. I made my breakfast and decided to go for a walk. As I was leaving from the garage, I noticed that the cactus plant had a flower bud growing on the top. That's when I realized the old man wasn't crazy at all. I took the cactus plant and headed out for the hills where I had looked for the kalu before. I cannot tell you where that is, just that it is in the hills. When I arrived, I found a nice spot with a dry grass and plenty of sunlight, and planted my cactus. When I was done, I stood up straight and looked at the forest. For the first time in my life, I saw the truth standing before me. Without our lips moving, I heard them say, this is my truth now. This is my truth, and now this is your truth. Someday you will share your truth with someone else. I stood with them for several minutes. My heart was full, and I now understood what people had been talking about all those years. I didn't have to speak or ask any questions because now I understood them, and they understood me. It's been 20 years. When I seen you, I knew it was time to share my truth. So this is my truth, and now it is your truth. Stop searching for them and start looking to them. When the time is right, you will see them, and they you. Best regards, John. That's odd, right? Now, why that kind of... I have to go. I gotta go. I'll be back. Let's take a road trip. Okay, everybody. I'm back out here on Dutch Street. Hold on. Get down this hill without falling. it was kind of a cryptic message that I got. Just kind of hit me right to the core. And I just got this sense that I had to come here for some reason. So I kind of rushed out, and here I am. I'm not sure how this plays out. So this is all ice. About, I don't know, 10 or 15 degrees out right now, I think. Boy, I gotta be careful here. Ouch. So it's all rocks. We're just gonna find out what we can find out here, but I don't know what to expect. Okay, I'm getting pretty close here. Again, this is one of those things that I don't understand why I'm getting messages like this. What's going on, you know? I didn't ask for this. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I did. But, it's happening, right? Weird. Piece of fruit on the ground over here, a gourd. Okay. I got this feeling that I've taken you as far as I can for right now. I gotta go alone. So I'm gonna leave my phone here. Hope I come back. Anyway, here we go.